Why, hello everyone, and welcome to the stream. This is Otaku Showboat. Today is Thursday, March 17th, 2022. There we go. Now everything is done and sorted. Wanted to try to do all my normal stuff within like the first few seconds of starting the stream because apparently people don't really care much for having a couple minutes at the beginning to have a song from the Factorio soundtrack while, I post that the stream has started and have a little bit of time for folks to come on in. So, how are things? I have not been playing Factorio, besides for the first few minutes this morning before starting up the stream. I have still been playing the. Oh, right. We don't have Kitty right now. I have still been playing Distant Worlds 2 between streams. Like that's been the primary thing. I've started up several new games. I just keep starting from scratch over and over and over again because it's just so random those various starts, and I haven't at this point learned how to respond to the specific circumstances that the game gives me in each playthrough. I am still learning slowly but surely, but eventually, maybe I'll learn how to properly respond to the specific scenarios that the game will present to me. The problem that I've been having really is that I keep somehow activating very late game threats really, really early, way before my empire can even remotely respond to these threats. We're talking about things that can end up having single ships with attack powers well over like 20, 30,000, while my individual ships are 1,000, if that, at the time that they get activated, because I've focused too much apparently on defensive componentry that has allowed my exploration ships to get to these nebulae that have these threats in them well before they should, and the game just it automates the exploration, and it's automating these exploration ships into these systems that activate these threats way too early. I wish there was a setting that I could set that says, hey, don't explore systems inside Nebula. That would be great. That would be great if I could just tell them, don't do that. But we can't at the moment. So, hey, that's been the thing. That's been happening lately. So the base, it's still growing. Last time we met, I set up biopolymers, and that's it. That's all we did over the course of 3 hours last time. Pretty much was make biopolymer. And for reference, it's limited by hydrogen chloride, because I'm only making like 100 hydrogen chloride per second. This needs 434.1. Actually, I'm making 200, I think, per second in total for the entire base to share. So I will need to scale that up at some point. It was also pointed out on Discord from Warlord that there are other ways of getting into crude oil that make much better use of bitumen than the way that I have been going about doing so recently. Now, the way that I make crude oil is by converting bitumen into crude oil directly, one-step process. You need to add in some hydrogen to do so, but that's not particularly efficient when compared to the fact that, well, You can make crude oil out of aromatics and syngas. The aromatics are free. I have a build that makes aromatics and benzene out of water, nothingness. So there's no resource expense there. The syngas is the harder part, but I'm sort of making this out of bitumen already. I have 2,000 per second of syngas being made out of bitumen through the filtration of bitumen. So why not do that for crude oil? And then you end up getting a nearly 1-to-10 ratio. It's a huge improvement to output of crude oil. Now, this also means that I could change how I'm processing oil sands. I could theoretically improve the output from my oil sand processing to get more bitumen out by adjusting and adding all of this into the system so that I'm not wasting as much bitumen to do the crude oil to naphtha, crude oil, heavy oil to naphtha that I'm doing here to keep the system moving. Now remember that processing oil sands into bitumen requires naphtha, and in order to get the naphtha, I'm using bitumen to make crude oil, to make heavy oil, to make naphtha. Now, I could use bitumen to make syngas to process to crude oil, to process to heavy oil, to process to naphtha instead, and it would vastly reduce the amount of loss there. It's not worth it, honestly, to go and do that. If there were a free way of getting into the syngas, I would probably do that instead and not have to spend the bitumen at all to get into crude oil. Like, that would be my preference, would be to just not have to spend bitumen at all to make the crude oil. You know, that would be much preferred. The problem is that the vast majority of ways of getting into syngas do require something. You know, like Nextlet in abundance, although that's not actually all that bad. Oh, and you get to take your pick between Nextlet or nickel. Honestly, the nickel's easier. And this one's even less hydrogen. Why not do this? Hold up. Hold on. Wait a minute here. Wait just 1 minute here. That's 2 nickel per 1,000 crude oil. I think I'm onto something that's better here, because CO2 is free. Ha! Yeah. Yeah. That's what I thought. That's gonna be better. I have to say, that's better. It is 841.2 aromatics per 1,000 crude oil, which to me is 1,000 aromatics per 1,000 crude oil, which is 5 of my blocks producing aromatics and bitumen. It's also, 1,000 bitumen spare, but eh. Wow, something just, it went down the wrong tube. My goodness. Alright. Wonderful. Now that I've stopped dying, that will be what I end up doing for crude oil, because I'd rather spend 0 bitumen for crude oil. And the benefit of this is that crude oil is being distillated, for one. I'm using this for distillation. It's also heavy oil lubricant as well, although I can get lubricant out of aromatics instead. Crude oil can generally get used in place of tar. It's the only problem is I can't, get tar out of crude oil. Ahem. I don't really know of a good way of getting tar out of crude oil. So there's that to think about as well. And then if I do this, I can import crude oil to my bitumen setup and not have to process bitumen into crude oil at all and get the full output of the bitumen setup to have more available for tar, I guess, because that is 1-to-1. And oh yeah, this is also productive. Right, I forgot about that. That key detail is a very key detail. Converting aromatics and syngas into crude oil is productive. And it gets productivity gains over time from all the mark levels and stuff. So it actually gets better with time. Yeah. So that's that thing that was brought up earlier. I would like to do this, not now though. Gosh, I even have to delete my syngas, right? Ah, great. Yeah. Because I'm going to have the syngas on the train network, of course. I'm not really going to do this local to the crude oil. I think. I need a lot of syngas, a lot more than even the 2000. So, yeah, I'm going to need a lot of nickel, I guess, for the syngas. I'm going to need a lot of nickel anyway. So, the goal of today is to do what I wanted to do last time, which was get into Dhilmos, and specifically the Dhilmo eggs, in order to get into that brain biocomputing of utility science. Why do I need the Dhilmo eggs? I need the Dhilmo eggs so that I can make GTA for the utility science. And I also don't currently have that recipe unlocked, so I'll need to unlock that recipe real quick. Yeah, that's there. Ahem. Yeah, maybe by the time I'm done setting up these demos, I will be somewhat close. In fact, I'm gonna start that now, and then go to there and whatever else. Ahem. Yeah, just start doing that. Didn't even realize I didn't have the GTA recipe even unlocked yet. But it's gonna take a bit of time to set up the demos, so let's get started here. I have also, today, at the beginning of the day today, expanded my train station setup for the mall. I added a whole new area. Nothing is requested yet. It's just because I was starting to run out of requests in here after adding aerogel and biopolymer to the mall requests. I've also set up the Dhilmo pools. They're being crafted now at Mark II. Oh yeah, I also added a bunch of extra assembling machines. so I can continue to make stuff. This is limited by circuit 2s currently, which is fine. I am okay with that being what's limited, what the limiting factor is on these things. I'm going to need like 28 of these Mark IIs for my plans. Something along those lines. Yeah, 28 of those Mark II demo pools. So while those are being crafted, and while the tech may happen, let's get going. Find a spot. Which, by the way, we are almost done. My bots have almost finished building my rail network. Like topping off all the extra building of rail throughout the place. That's exciting. So I can just like pick. I can pick wherever I want for this to go. So that's nice. Probably across from where I'm already making some food, considering this isn't a particularly large factory, but it is a particularly large train station. And I need to make sure that I'm on Matrix Solver and that everything in here is the stuff that I am directly requesting. It looks like it's all the stuff that I'm directly requesting. So I need a total of 0.9 for what I need to do here, which means that I am actually making 1. Might want a little bit more buffer for that, but I'll manage. I shall manage. I've got the pin set here already, and we are good to go. We've got 11 items to request, of which it looks like there is only 1 fluid. Wonderful. Only 1 fluid. That is the kerosene for the steam that I will need. Because, you know, for whatever reason, practically like every single food for these animals requires steam. Don't know why. Just it all needs steam. Fortunately, I don't believe I will have to restock. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Whoops, 10 plus fluid. And there we go. I will need to grab some more rail, of course. I do not carry around quite enough for this many stations. There we go. I always like to build the slots for the stations first thing in these factories, and then actually build the factory and then put the requests in, or do all the logistics before putting the actual requests in, because I've tried actually like putting all the requests in first, and it's a mess. It's a mess every single time. Okay, where do we even begin here? We'll begin with the steam furthest away, because it's much easier to place down the pipes over distance. Although soon that's probably going to reverse, because or it might already be reversed. Not quite. We do get a little bit extra length on the niobium pipes versus the ultra-fast underground belts, but eventually the underground belts will actually exceed the pipe to grounds. But the pipe to grounds are significantly cheaper, so we'll use those. We will use those. I also need to have my bots place the 3 slaughterhouses here, Because, yeah, we have 3 slaughterhouses that we'll need to do, or need to use. Thinking about order of operations here, I should probably do the blood first. Oh, right, and I'm gonna need cages. Ahem. I'm gonna need cages. Right. I think that's actually a tile off. Do, 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 do. Cages. Power to the everything and a box. This is my box. I don't go anywhere without my box. Alright. Logic. From the last time we met in the biopolymer build, I set up a basic set of logic to request doohickeys. Now, thing is, I'm going to need multiple of that, so I'm gonna need to add a few of these. Looks like it can reach there. I think that will be enough, because I only need one more setup involving the doohickeys here. Only one more, and it needs to be the Fagnots. This one is for the bones. We want, of course, the 11 bones and not the 6. Thank you, game, updating and resetting all the things. And you are, of course, caging the Fagnots instead. There we go. That, as they say, is that. I don't actually need that one. Ahem. Yeah, that's it for the cages. I just need the one here, bringing in and sending out for the skin. Fortunately, Zippier, they output the most skin. Only 6? No, apparently I didn't get the upgrade tech yet. Well, you can get 3 brains? Interesting. That means I've picked up the brain upgrade. Yeah, where's the previous one? Yeah, the interactive cognition I've picked up, meaning that Arthurians will give 6, and then eventually they'll give 8. Yeah, you know, it times 3'd all of the output on brains for me. So yeah, whenever I need brains, I can now get 6 for 1. 6 for the price of 1. Okay. Now, because that was a direct copy-paste, it's going to copy and bring in the cages already, and all of the logic should be set, which is great. It's fantastic stuffs. Next, let's do the guar. Now, I should already have somewhere a guar array. I'm forgetting where, though. It was one of the other foods. What other food was it? Where do I have foods? Aha! You. I can vastly simplify you, but we'll stick with this for now. I do need to change the belt, though. You. You are going to be converting red belt to green. Not the loaders, though. Yeah, the output of the biomass is going to go into a high pressure furnace instead, which is a significantly smaller building, and making CO2 that is going to be immediately voided. Just like so. Ta-da! Yeah, it's just that easy. 'Tis just that easy. Of course, I only actually needed one of these, but whatever. Oh, do you need more than a yellow? Yes, you do. So I guess I did need to replace those loaders. And those loaders. This is fine. And that just leaves the Yotoi. Go Gadget Yotoi. What's the throughput on those belts? 90. On these ultra fast belts from the Ultimate Belts mod. And this is the first level of the Ultimate Belts mod belts. I use these not specifically, well, I use these for the throughput, but I use them because primarily of the underground belt length. For performance reasons, late game performance reasons. As you can see, I'm already running under 60 frames per second. So the fewer entities I need in the base, the better. And especially when I have a base built like this that is a hybrid of belts and rails, I need to try to get rid of as many belts as possible. Like, I need to try to reduce my belt count as we go along. And I will do that through the power of these ultimate belts, because the max level ultimate belt in the Ultimate Belts mod has a throughput of 270 items per second. And I have mini loaders which has compatibility with the Ultimate Belts mod, and so I have Ultimate Belts mini loaders as well that can go up to 270 items per second. Now, mini loaders being essentially just inserters, they've never had an issue with hitting the throughput, I believe. But there was a point in time where loaders that were coded as loaders were not actually able to reach throughputs greater than a total of 120 items per second, 60 per lane, because of the game limiting output to 1 item per tick per lane. But that was updated and fixed a while ago, so now they are actually able to output at their full rate. In fact, that was a thing that I had pointed out towards the end of my previous Pyandons playthrough on Paidu Valley. I did a little circuit setup where I showed what the problem was. I actually showed it in action, where the loaders were limited to 120 items per second, even though it should have been higher than that for the loader type speed that I was using. They were able to load fine, but they were not able to unload properly at the rated speed. But fortunately, that's fixed, and we can keep on going. And it's not going to be relevant on this particular playthrough because mini loaders are not loaders. Mini loaders are very fast inserters rather than loaders. So I'm an isekai fan? Yeah. I would say so. I've read a lot, and my active reading list is pretty exclusive on that front. Although lately there've been some series that come out as they start off seeming to be isekais, but they're not. And you only find out many volumes in that it's not a real isekai, but whatever. It's still the same vein at the start of it anyway. Yeah, I have been reading a lot lately. But unfortunately there's been a lot of delays for a lot of the series that I actively read. Speaking of which, I was going to look up when's the next Overlord coming out? When is the next one? It's what, volume 14, right? Is next. That one is June? Ugh, goodness. And unfortunately, that's one I get as not Kindle, but hardcover. At least I prefer getting it as hardcover. Why is this $20 for the hardcover of Overlord in June? Usually it was like 14. Like what? Anyway, hi, welcome to the stream. I need a lot of belts for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 total input belts. And an output belt. Great. I love these. Jump that. I mean, that's obvious, right? Just jump that. Which is the best watch or read, in my opinion? Well, consider that I prefer light novels as a step one to any of these discussions. I actually do not particularly enjoy manga, as it turns out. for whatever reason, I've tried reading them. I do watch anime, and I'm often very disappointed with anime after reading the light novels, which are often the source material for these things. But gosh, what would be? I don't know what would be the best. To be honest, I mean, it depends on what you're looking for. Are you looking for something that's just entertaining that you can turn your brain off for, or do you want something that's a little bit more engaging, a little bit deeper? Because I mean, there's some of both. But as far as like isekai to watch, read, I mean, reading lately, I follow and just immediately buy the what's it called again? All these names are so stupidly long. Yeah, what even is wishlist? Hi, Amazon. Yeah, you. Really, I don't even have the next volume of that one on my list. It must not be out yet. All right, orders. I don't want to get the names wrong. So show me my digital orders. Apparently from a while back. Ah yes, how a realist hero rebuilt the kingdom. That's like my top one of the current series. Yeah, so realist hero is top number one. There's also, yeah, reincarnated as a slime. Those are among my top right now. Although, honestly, with reincarnated as a slime, I found the anime to be a good way of helping to keep track of who's who, because I have a very hard time with names, and that series of light novels has a lot of names. It's just so many names. I can't keep track of it all when reading it. It's like, who's this? Who's this again? What race is this character again? I don't remember. But it became a lot more clear when actually watching the anime. But yeah, there's that. There's Overlord. There's gosh, what's more recent things? Like if I had to say, like, what would I immediately buy that's like good? Because there's some stuff that's like guilty pleasure type things that's like just pure entertainment value, like reincarnated as a sword. Like that's just something fun to read. There's Death March to the Parallel World Rhapsody. That one I read whenever there's a new volume out. Yeah, there's just so much. I could go like list absolutely everything, but that would take forever. All right, tech. Finally delayed enough to be able to actually make this GTA. Just do stuff, do tech things. I don't really care anymore now that I have the GTA. Don't think there's too much key that's left. Spider. Yeah. Fun to watch. I never cared for the actual human story, and it's a little unfortunate with how the anime ended up. On the development side, there were apparently some major issues with outsourcing the 3D aspects of Spider, uh, which is why the final episode of the 24 episode season was delayed. In fact, because they had to redo a lot of it because it just ended up really bad. Um, and the show suffered a bit for that, for viewership, I would imagine. Oh, that's not the right spot for you. There you go, better. Whoops. I might redo this. In fact, I'm most likely going to redo this, because you are a shared belt. Oh, dang it, I hate when I do that. You are one. But yeah, it's unfortunate that it also ended where it did, because it ended right before the novels take a major step back and actually focus more on the spider. Like, if there is a second season, it will be primarily focused on the spider and not the human story, because for whatever reason, the author wanted to set up this moment that happens at the end of that first season of the anime. Spends a long time focusing on the people aspect to focus on this moment, this climactic moment, and then proceeds to not talk about it again for a really long time, and focuses on how the spider gets to this moment towards the end of this human focused storyline, which takes place in the future compared to where the spider storyline happens. So we in the season 2 we'll focus on more of how Spider gets to this moment. Unfortunately, in the more recent volumes, I have grown a little bit bored of it, because it has again been going back to human stuff and telling the story of the previous hero character, and their life growing up, which I really don't care about. Like, frankly, like I don't care about the people in that series. I really don't. They can all die, and I will smile, because it really isn't about them. Anyway, I need to finish this logistics. We're taking a bit too much time here. That's done. All like everything is done. I just need to get the things brought over. So that's 2 belts accounted for, plus the stuff, right? So I need to bring in everything else by train. Is that right? Is that where we're at now? We have 1 belt, 2 belt, blah 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 blah. We have 1 belt, 2 belt, 3 belt, 3 belt. 1, 2, 3. Yep, that's where we're at. All right, let's start working on the logistics of the train station here. First thing is the Mukmo, with the mukmoks. This will be the... Or actually, no, the first thing, technically, is the kerosene, which I didn't even set up here. First thing is the fluid. So yeah, I'm like an entire volume behind on Spider right now. And there's another volume coming out relatively soon, I think. So it's like, oh, I have to get through the one I'm reading. I like stopped partway through. Never a good sign when that happens. Never a good sign when that happens. All right, place this pipe and be like, you know, our kerosene at Dhilmo food. What happened to my strap? Hold up. My arm for the microphone here is supposed to have a strap that keeps the cord attached to the arm. And it seems to have disappeared. Anyway. What else? What else could I say is something to read of all the isekai that exist? Something that I'm actually actively interested in because I've read so much. It's really hard to keep track of some things at times. I mean, there's Seirei Suki Spirit Chronicles. My problem with those volumes is that they're really short. You know, it always feels bad when I can completely finish the thing in like 2 hours, 3 hours, like easily one night. It's like, oh goodness, these are so short. Oh yeah, there's Shield Hero. Duh. Read Shield Hero. That one's good. That one's actually good. I've got the physical copies of those for the most part. Although I think I'm behind again on that because there again came a point where it's like I lost all interest because of a oh, I know what it was. I lost interest in Shield Hero light novels because for whatever reason I hate whenever they do this. The listings on Amazon spoiled the big event of the previous volume. There was a because I go through usually and find every volume's listing on Amazon to add to a wish list so that I know what's coming, because it will show the release dates on the wish list of the stuff that's not out yet. And unfortunately, they revealed a character, or they revealed an aspect, just to not say what happens. They revealed something from a volume that I hadn't read yet. The big event of the volume I hadn't read yet, and I was like, wow, that just totally, completely killed all interest in actually reading that volume now. So it's like, The light novel for Shield Hero is actually not particularly different from the actual anime. They didn't hold back too awfully much there in that respect. Always expect in the light novels that there are going to be a lot more details that haven't shown up in the anime for time reasons. Just the limitations of a 20-minute show, 22-ish minute show at 12 or 24 episodes, it really does limit how much they can put in to make the specific amount of progress that they need to make in a given season to have a somewhat complete story that they need to tell. Because remember, a lot of times, anime exists for the explicit reason to drive light novel sales and manga sales, as well as the actual sales of the anime, of course, which are often sold at exorbitant prices on Blu-rays. We're talking like for some of these, it's the equivalent of $50 or $60 for 2 episodes of a 12-episode season. Ahem. That's how exorbitant these prices can end up being in Japan. Be very thankful whenever you see English released versions of these Blu-rays going for like $80, $90 because that it's significantly cheaper than what they're paying out in Japan. Knock at Dhilmo food. The next one's gonna be our Fagnot at Dhilmo food. Season 2 for April 6th. Is that Shield Hero? That one actually does deserve another season. That one should go to completion, I would hope. I would really hope that one goes to completion. Alright, what are we doing here? This to there. Yeah, because the novels have gone way beyond even a second season. I'm pretty sure at this point in terms of story progression for Shield Hero. I'm trying to think what else. I have to look behind me. There's so many series that I have behind me. Actually, I think that's the major ones that I have as physical copies. I mean, I enjoyed Log Horizon. It's just that one, I don't know. I have to read the most recent volumes of that. There was a big delay. The author I don't think was able to write for a while on that one, so that's just been on my to-read list lately. I've always had a problem actually reading Log Horizon because it has a ton of exposition, like fairly bland exposition at that. But it has some mature themes to it, and I was like, oh, this is actually a more mature take on this. The biggest problem I have with that is actually the kids. Like, I don't actually care about the kids' stories and what they are going through. Outside of the introduction, like, that was the best part, I think, of Log Horizon, was the whole thing with the kids being used as child labor. and the rescuing of the kids. My problems come with now we have these kids that are characters that we're focusing on as kids and doing kid things. I'm like, no, I don't really care as much. I don't know. The story starts strong and gets weaker, honestly. Although I haven't really read the most recent stuff, so maybe it's come back again. But yeah. Oh, and of course, there's sword art online, but it was very popular, but it's not the best out there of the various isekai novels these days. I mean, it is fine for entertainment purposes, but when it tells the exact same story twice in a row, not so keen on it anymore. Like the whole damsel in distress thing is fine if you do it once. Don't know why you have to go about doing it twice in a row between the fairy dance and Gun Gale arcs. Yeah, that was not particularly great. Anyway, next, this one is actually the Guar, and this one is Zipier. Zipier is coming in next. Yeah, and I remember people saying that Alicization was good and really good. I'm working my way towards the end of that on the anime side. It's just I don't know if I'm going to be able to actually read to that point. Because if I'm going to really get reading Sword Art, I'm going to be starting from the beginning and working my way to that point. The problem, again, is that you're asking too much of people if you have to read through 5 or 6 volumes of a light novel series before it gets good. At my intersection, this thing I have posted on my Discord server. I did not make this in particular. I did a few fixes to it, and I've done some enhancements with these roboports and things. But no, this one is from the Foundation Rail series blueprint. It's available on Discord. I've got a link. I've got links to that on Discord, on Reddit. I have links to that Reddit on my Factorio string sharing channel in my Discord, and I have it pinned actually. The link there somewhere in my pins. Yeah, towards the end. I've been using these for quite some time. Quite some time. So yeah, hello, welcome. We are working on the Dilmo food, slowly but surely. Talking about isekai series and novels. Unfortunately for me, the Sword Art Online was not my first anime. My first ever anime that I watched when I had decided that I wanted to get into watching anime was Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. It's a pretty good way to start. It's, again, not the greatest, not the best there ever was or ever will be, but it's good. It is good. And a good introduction, I should say. All right, this next item is here. Honestly speaking, when it comes to like the whole MMO type things, Sword Art is among the bottom to me of like a ranking of how good those shows are. I put Log Horizon above SAO, but I put Dot Hack above that. Yeah, the first season of Dot Hack, I actually have that behind me on DVD because I enjoyed it so much. So this one's requesting Superior at Dhilmo food. And the next, excuse me, this one's Zapier. This one is Guar. The thing about the Dot Hack series, though, is especially in season 1, is that you have to be okay with there being a lot of very like emotional moments of silence where it's just the music. And I think that's actually the most powerful parts of the show, though some people just don't like that for whatever reason. This one's what? What are you? Ah, Yotoi fruit. That's what you are. Oh, and I frankly really enjoyed the there's one musical track that they play over and over and over again that is that includes part of one of the Queen of the Nights arias from the Magic Flute. It's like, I know this song. I know this aria very well. Because my mother has been in and has sung as an opera singer, and her big role that she does and has done was the Queen of the Night for the Magic Flute. A rather, I guess you could call it, notorious role that includes arias that make the soprano have to hit a note of the high F, the high F note, which not many performers can actually hit. My mother could hit it. She can do it just fine. She's good at that. Why do I have... Oh. Oops. I was off. Oh well, I'm not going to fix it. Ahem. Our nickel, I guess, at Dhilmo food. You flip. So, growing up, listening to that aria, getting practiced over and over and over again, and all the other arias, and all of the rest of the stuff, it's ingrained in my mind. I can't, like, every single time I hear it, it's like, oh, this is the Queen from the Magic Flute. All right. That is that. That is that. I believe that is that. Request biosamples at Dhilmo Food. Request plastic at Dhilmo Food. Request Nauvis at Dhilmo Food. And request seaweed at Dhilmo Food. Barring any mistakes, that should be it. Supply Dhilmo Food. Depot Dhilmo Food. Let's see, what else? What else can we talk about of the isekais? I mean, I guess there's also Saga of Tanya the Evil. That one, that's definitely an experience. Ahem. I think that one had a movie as well. I don't think I haven't watched it, and I think it only ever got the like 1 or 2 seasons. But it, I believe, has gone way beyond anything that the anime presented as the light novels. Unfortunately, that's one that I've at one point dropped just because it's just so much. It's just so much. It takes me forever to get through any one volume of that light novel. Hold up. Where are you? Oh. This is a shared belt. This is a shared belt already. I'm supposed to have an odd number. One, 2, 3, 4, plus 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. What mistake have I made? I have made a mistake. This much I know. Ah, that's it. I have found the mistake. I have, of course, found it. It is here. This, of course, only outputs cages because it's making blood. Meaning that this guy coming with the bones doesn't have something it's sharing a belt with. There we go. Now we're fixed. This is why we check these things. This is why we check these things. Okay, now I can do the requests. Now, as for the current-ish seasons of anime, I believe right now there is In the Land of Leedale that is currently airing. And I did enjoy it to the point where I have read at this point all of the available light novels for it. I believe there's 4 volumes currently, with the 5th coming out in April. And it is a better read than it is a watch for the anime. That I know and can say with certainty. And the anime does skip over quite a few things. And it does a few things out of order, but it does not include a few things that aren't as important, but might be in the future. I don't know. How have I been? You keep missing when I'm live? I'm fine. I have been very much into Distant Worlds 2 lately. That has been my entire days. Has been playing Distant Worlds 2 since last Friday. How much time have I put into that game since last Friday? 65.1 hours apparently recorded on Steam. So, you know, just a few hours each day. Just a couple. All right, we are still in need of plastic, really. Did I not do the thingy on the plastic? I did, it's just we don't have enough plastic. Oops. Well, we'll need to scale that at some point. I will need to scale that eventually. Yeah, and the animals haven't been processed yet. Alright, you're processing, so you've arrived. You're going to arrive. Yeah, we've got Dolly. She's here, they're fine. Dolly and Ollie. Well, I don't know where Ollie is right now. He's not next to me. I have a camera for Ollie that's available, but no kitty next to me. We just got the one behind me. They just turned 2 years old on this past Tuesday. So that's that's a thing. They're now 2, technically. Why do you have your hook in my green screen? Why do you have your hook in my green screen? Yeah, get that hook off of my green screen. My screen has enough holes because of you. Holes and like lint and cat hair all over it. Hey you. Yeah, meow. Are you gonna roll on my back? Although honestly, we don't know the exact date of birth for the kittens because it was they are rescue cats. They were found as kittens, and it was I'm sure presumed that their birth date was the 15th. It's not guaranteed that was the exact day, but whatever. Close enough. Why no Zipier? Zipier? Have I defined Zipier? I may not have ever defined Zipier. Or I just messed up the request or skipped it over or something. Zippier? Not defined. Wonderful. Great job. Never defined it. All the way at the bottom of the list. De-Zippier. Go! Be free! Bring me the Zippier! And that's the Dhilmo food. Hopefully by this point, I have enough of the infrastructure to make the actual Dhilmos. What kind of train was that? What it looks different. It is a Pyandons mods high-tech locomotive. All of my locomotives are high-tech locomotives. They run off of Nextlit batteries. And they go fast. They go super fast. And that's next, it's their high-tech wagons as well. Alright, let's go back to the mall. I know I haven't set up a actual train on here yet, but if I'm waiting on plastic, it could take a little while. What is the trouble with plastic? Ah, yeah, I'm just using all of my plastic. That looks so slow, especially when the UPS is below 60. It's so slow. Please tell me you're not. Great. Like, please tell me you're going to Dhilmo. Of course not. Why would it? Why would it be? Sadly, this is only 15 per second on the plastic. And I'm thinking of doing something else for plastic. Was it casing? I don't see anything broken down here for plastic. Yeah, casing can do plastic. So can melamine. And you can get melamine out of casing and cyanic. But I guess this direct is just better. Yeah, direct is better according to Helmod. So the thing about casein is that it's basically just Corlax milk and a little bit of sulfuric acid. It's just Corlax milk and sulfuric. I mean, none of it's productive, unfortunately, but not much is. And, you know, I've got 120 per second on casein. Is it? Yeah, it's It's 120 casein. How much am I using of that? I'm using 60 of it on fiber at the moment. I'm pretty sure I have a sufficient quantity spare to set up more plastic out of casein. The problem is going to be hot air at some point soon. Yeah, ideally, just watch on like ×2 speed, or get like a plugin that lets you watch at like faster than that. There are browser plugins that let you watch video at faster speeds. I've got one on Opera. It's available for like Chrome and everything else. Let me see. Where do the extensions live? What's this one called? Video Speed Controller. That, I believe, is the plugin that I use on my browsers. Video Speed Controller. What that does is it lets you use hotkeys. It's like S and D, I believe, in order to speed up or slow down the playback of video content. This applies to all video content, not just on YouTube. Ahem. AKA, it also applies to Crunchyroll, so you can watch anime at ×1.5 or ×2 speed if you want to quickly catch up on a series, and the subtitles do keep up with the playback when it's faster. Speaking of which, I did see that Funimation is merged into Crunchyroll now, so you get all of the dubs. Although I believe you have to be subscribed to get the Funimation content, because there's some stuff that was on Funimation that I had wanted to see dubbed, or not dubbed, but subtitled, that I don't think was on Crunchyroll to begin with. Is that gonna immediately start playback? No. Okay, there we go. Yeah, because there's Mushoku Tensei, Jobless Reincarnation, that is now on Crunchyroll, but it is behind the premium block for both subtitled and the dub, which is a little unfortunate, but anyway. Mach 16 trains mod. I mean, no, this is Pymods. These trains are Pymods. I don't plan on adding any faster trains than this. These are included with Pi High Tech. They're relatively new to Pyandons, but yeah, they run on Nextlit batteries that you can recharge in particle accelerators. It's absolutely glorious. Like, as soon as you have particle accelerators, you're good to go. Speaking of good to go, let us build the Dhilmo egg build. Just increases the speed limit. Yeah, I don't need the trains to go faster. Hello, Ave. Welcome. Welcome to me talking about isekai, anime and light novels. Because it was asked about a long time ago. I don't even know if the person's still here. I just keep talking. Oh, good, they're still here. Um, yeah, I'm trying to think what else there really is. If you're interested in more political stuff, yeah, the big ones are Realist Hero, Slime, and that vein of things. But there's just so much that's like more entertainment value. I mean, I have been enjoying The Magician Who Rose from Failure. That one's pretty good, honestly. I don't even know if that one has an anime yet. I would imagine it will soon. But not as political side of things. And gosh, there's Rebuilding Civilization Starts with a Village or something like that. That one's pretty good. But again, not as political, at least not yet. Yeah, Fushi no Kami. Rebuilding Civilization. Da, 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 da. My nanobots are fast. Yes, they are. Uh, in particular, it's because I do have the techs from nanobots, but also you can make your nanobots faster with specific settings. Um, somewhere in the settings, I think it's map settings, nanobots. Uh, tick up the entities queued. Yeah, like kick this queue up a bit, and like how often in ticks to search for orders. Like kick this how often in ticks. So here it's the lower the better. Ticks between queue cycles, the lower the better. Ticks between Roboport cycles, like these things. Lower values better, higher values better, lower values better, but more performance, and it vastly speeds things up. It sounds interesting based on the title for Rebuilding Civilization Starts with the Village. However, it is more of a child perspective. That's how I should put it. Of course, it's an isekai. Person wakes up with memories of past life, etc., and they're using their memories to learn, to read, and gain knowledge of this past civilization to try to bring the standards of living up in the world again to something more akin to what it was like in a distant past scenario. Um, and they're quickly found out as this like super intelligent person for the time that they're living in, even though they just have the memories of the past. And it's, yeah, more along those lines. And it follows this person as they grow up from like age 8 or even sooner than that, up through adolescence at this point in the series, anyway. And similar, actually, to how it's done in Jobless Reincarnation. They go like the whole life of the person. Dr. Stone, anyone? Yeah, I watched that on Crunchyroll. Again, I don't believe Dr. Stone is based off of a light novel. It's based off of a manga series, so I'm not as interested in the source material. I mean, I watched season 1. I'll probably watch season 2 at some point, but not I'm not as interested in manga stuff. You had a question, do I plan on making a deep storage or location using the massive Pi storage? Is that worth doing for Pi? What do you mean by deep storage? Because I use bulk rail loaders. They have 320 slots each, and I currently tap into mega mines for my ores using alien life modules that vastly increases the speed of those mega mines, and they mine directly into depots with 800 slots that then belt into 320 each. Anyway. Yeah. Pin. What do we need? We need a few things. We need 2 fluids, 3 fluids, and 4 solids. 4 solids, 3 fluids. Yeah, I don't really need such mega storage of those resources in this base. That was my alarm to say that we are in fact halfway through the stream, but I'm going to keep going without taking a break. Whoops, 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 whoops. Excuse me? Excuse me, but what was just happening there? Well, that's a bug. Really now? Okay. Fine. Be that way? I think that's how that goes. To there, and then to there. To there, and then to there. Yeah. Good enough. Good enough. Yeah, well, the train counter is part of the train supply manager mod. It just something, again, I believe this is nanobot issue integrating with other mods. Just this train counter gets placed by a script on requester placement, and I'm sure also demolition, so there's probably something with the order in which things got deleted by the nanobots that the script didn't like. Anyway, I'm supposed to have 3 of these. Yeah, nanobots is very particular in how it builds things. And for whatever strange reason, the mod author demands that every other mod author that exists that makes mods that places buildings and has scripts involving the placement of buildings, that they must follow how nanobots places buildings from Blueprint or from ghost entities in order for it to be compatible. They must do it the nanobot way, or you end up with bugs. So it's the nanobot mod author just refusing to be reasonable. We're up to 5 gigawatts already. Wow. Anyway. Yeah, they do the behavior very weirdly with nanobots. It's like, I believe it's treating the building as not creating the building, but reviving the building. Yeah, I'm not sure what event normally gets done when you place a building from a blueprint ghost, but nanobots almost it's treating it as if it's restoring a destroyed entity ghost rather than as a placement building. Can I show the circuit for the trains? I mean, I can talk a little bit about the circuit for the trains. I mean, I always I've explained it many, many, many different times in many, many, many different ways to varying degrees of clarity. Basically, what I have here is I'm connecting the total storage to a combinator that is taking that value and dividing it by 4,000. This number is half the amount that's going to be requested. Okay, that's half the amount that's going to be requested in here before we stop requesting new trains. And the reason why it's half is because in the next combinator, I'm taking a constant value of 2 and subtracting this value of x that we're outputting here, this whole number value of x. This is being sent to the requester, which is looking at how many trains are currently on the way to this station and checking if that value happens to be less than the value of p, which is this 2 minus x. So if x is 0, p is 2. If the number of trains that are on the way is less than 2, it's going to send trains until there are 2 of them on the way. This controls max number of trains being sent to the station at any one time, as well as stops trains coming to the station once we have 2 times 4K stuff at the station. That is the logic. That is how that works. It is dual purpose circuit logic. Let's see, anything else I can discuss? I'm looking at my Crunchyroll queue right now. I'm seeing that Faraway Paladin is on that list of stuff, and yeah, that's a good thing to read. Please read Faraway Paladin. Please make sure that gets more content made of it. Unfortunately, the author did have a big break. Another author had a big break period where they weren't writing volumes for it. So it's looking for a specific threshold amount of stuff between the particular loaders or unloaders. I mean, theoretically, this is supposed to be a quote-unquote train load, and it's theoretically 2 train loads of stuff being sent. But here I've defined the train load as 4,000. My trains carry variable amounts of stuff. I don't really care. It's just gonna keep sending trains until it passes 8K as its value. Yeah, Faraway Paladin is an isekai that is more on the fantasy side, uh, and is again in that vein of person grows up, but it actually takes place more like teenage years. But at the beginning, you're going through the life like accelerated pace from baby to child to young adult, and the gimmick in this show is that the kid as a baby is raised by undead creatures. Is raised by the undead. A mummy, a skeleton, and a ghost. And they are his family. Until things happen and he leaves. Quote unquote, things happen. And the anime did not get that far into the story, to be completely honest. There's a lot more in the light novels that are currently available. Alright, it would help if I actually had my Dhilmo with me. Yeah, that would help. Oh, good thing you're not blocking anything. Let's see, how do I want to set up this 28 here? I mean, the output's not going to be huge. What's a Dhilmo? Good question. I wish I knew. It's a little crustacean thing. There we go, 14. And then grab it, rotato, and plonk. That's too far. Hold up. 1, 2, 3. That's better. I should take all of this and shift it there. That's better. Yes, bring me these Dhilmo. They're little crustacean thingies. I need their eggs. I need their eggs to make GTA. They're water creatures and they don't need cages because they're water creatures, and that helps a lot. What else is like good shows slash reads? I don't even. I should probably read Konosuba one day. That's something I should probably be reading. That one's just comedy. I should probably be reading ReZero. I've got several of the light novel volumes. I just haven't read it yet because it was too soon. Oh, there's the thingy. Could I mute there? If you would like to keep your car warranty, Ah. I need their eggs to make GTA. Yeah. To make gene transfer agent. That's the GTA we're talking about. Gene transfer agent in order to do vat brain biocomputing of utility science. Yeah, I want to do this. I have everything I need for this, except for the Dhilmo eggs. All this other stuff, ish, I have. Ish, I have. I don't really have the denatured size mite on my training network. Cough, 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 cough. Wink, wink. Maybe I'll need to do that if I want to have this today. But anyway. Yes, gene transfer agent. Yeah, and then I mentioned before, I didn't really talk about it too much, was Death March to the Parallel World of Rhapsody. That one is simply entertainment, but I've enjoyed it immensely over however many volumes it's been. It has an anime of it already. I wish it would have more of it, though. Death March is getting its 16th translated volume, releasing on April 5th. And I have read all of the previous volumes of that one. I never said it was great. It's entertaining. It's comedy. As long as you know what it is and what you're getting into, it's fine. It's fine. As I said, not all the things I watch are great. Not all the things I read are, like, great. And I've read some. I have read some light novels. I have read a light novel where the person was reincarnated as a vending machine. This is how bored I get at times. That author, by the way, I think only released 3 volumes of that series. Three light novel volumes of that series, and moved on. What is it that they were doing now? They're writing a side stories for something a bit more popular. Reborn as a vending machine, I now wander the dungeon is the light novel written by where's the author? Hirokuma. Written by Hirokuma. And that author moved on to something else. Yeah, there's only 3 volumes of that. Cough, cough. Unfortunately. Yes, a vending machine. A vending machine in a world where people live inside a massive multi-tiered dungeon. Like, continental scale dungeon. So this needs 3 solids. So I actually need this arrangement. Yes. As I said, there's some interesting things that exist as isekai light novels, if you really dig into it. And of course, I have read all 3 volumes of that series. Of course, why wouldn't I read all 3 volumes of the series where the freaking protagonist is a literal vending machine? Though honestly, the one where the protagonist is a literal sword is a bit better than that. There is Reincarnated as a Sword that I have been reading and do follow every volume released. That one is slightly more engaging. It's also a silly isekai, more silly side of things, but sometimes you just gotta have some silliness. Sometimes you just gotta have silliness. Oh, and then there's Reincarnated as a Dragon Hatchling. That one's actually decent. What did it vend? Pretty much anything that the person ever bought at a vending machine prior to being reincarnated. Which, for all intents and purposes, is everything. Yeah, which, if you know anything about Japan, this person being a vending machine fanatic, there's a lot of stuff sold in vending machines in Japan. There's a lot of stuff. And this person has access, when reborn as a vending machine, to anything that they've ever bought in one. Yes, ... is the proper reaction. That is the proper reaction. That's how silly these things can get. Anyway, yeah. Actually, Dragon Hatchling, pretty decent. I'm waiting for new volumes of that to release. That one actually takes a darker turn. It's actually relatively dark, not all happy-go-lucky. I should be doing this in the middle and not on the side like this, but whatever. I mean, theoretically, that's the eggs themselves, but I do not need more Dhilmo as Dhilmo. I'm gonna set it up anyway so that it's, you know, giving me more Dhilmos to work with. Over here, just hatch a few more Dhilmos. Ah, dang it! Again with the nanobot scripting thing, I have to have robots actually place down incubators and the creature chambers. Yeah, so A, the UPS is a little bit below 60 right now, and B, I am using the Eradicator RAM and VRAM Saver mod. Although, honestly, I don't know if it's necessary. I think I'll have my current level of performance no matter what. It does save a fair amount of active VRAM, though. My GPU has 11 gigs of VRAM total, but if I bring up my current usage, it's using 5. It's using 5 gigs of VRAM right now, and it's only cutting down on the animation frames by like 40%. I don't know. I don't know. Don't know. So this needs only one. Wait, this is why this exists. Okay. Sure. This is why this exists in the first place. Going up. And going down. And that is that. Just gotta get power. You're surprised I'm not using the robots for what? Like my construction bots to build the whole thing? No, I don't plan on doing that. That would take forever. I will be more inclined for that once I'm at utility science and I have upgraded the speed of my bots. And especially once I get into the high-tech robots. At that point, I'll be more inclined to just have everything be in logistic zones, etc. But yeah, for now, we shall live with this. To move things around a bit. I build how I build. That's basically the gist of it. Yeah, are there opportunities I could do more, like, cut-paste stuff? Yeah, but that's just not my muscle memory at this point. It just wasn't part of my muscle memory. Yeah, it would be more efficient to just set up this and then copy down the line. But, whatever. I have to actively think to do that. And I'm all about the not actively thinking. I'd rather not actively think. By the way, if you want to know what I've read for light novels, rather than me telling you what I've read, because there's no possible way I can ever remember everything that I've ever read for light novels, you can go to my Goodreads. I have a website, otakushowboat.com, and I believe I still have a sidebar. Or did I get rid of that sidebar? I got rid of that sidebar. I used to have a sidebar on my website that had, like, my Goodreads profile that included, like, what I've recently finished reading and such, but I am on Goodreads. Looks like I also got rid of my, like, page that had that link. Goodness gracious. Goodreads. Take me to my page. I will... Yes, continue with Amazon. Thanks. Show me my stuff. Keep me signed in. Take me to my profile. Why is that listed as currently reading? I have read this. I have read that. I am well beyond that, in fact. Yeah. So I've been reading A Wild Last Boss Appears. That's what I just finished reading last night, was volume 7 of that series. Yeah, so let me like do that. So that's my Goodreads page. That's my Goodreads page. I'll try to put it on my Discord, I guess, later. Like, if you really want to know the things that I have been reading, to at least investigate to see if you might be interested in any of it, I make zero guarantees that any of it is going to be interesting to anyone. And of course, it really only gives the stuff that I have digitally that I've been reading as well, because I'm not as on top of posting the read status of physical volumes of stuff. Like, I know that what I know not on the list is Elantris. I recently read Elantris from Brandon Sanderson. Not a light novel, an actual novel. And I've read, and I have that physical copy as a physical copy, along with the most recent volume of the Stormlight Archive, whatever the heck the name of the most recent volume of Stormlight Archive is. Volume 4, the 4th volume. I got those at Christmas time, and I read them in about a week and a half. In about a week and a half, they were done. Okay, all this is powered now. That's fetal serum. What other fluids do I need? Pin that. Let's get... Because ideally I have... Yeah, I've got enough of the food by now. How do I feel about 30 methane for water and moondrop seeds? And versus the one that needs CO2. So the one that needs CO2 is faster, and I think that's the intent. I get that it really should improve the output by adding in the CO2 for the methane, but yeah, so here you get 30 methane for a moondrop seed and water every 20 seconds versus this one, you get 30 methane by adding 100 CO2 every 10 seconds. It's twice as fast, but it really should be more output per unit seed, honestly. An organic base with cliffs and lakes versus city base like this, which is more fun? That depends. Do you feel that building around lakes and cliffs is fun? Do you feel like is that a fun concept to you? Because it's not to me. And that's why I build on maps that don't tend to have water and don't tend to have biters and that don't tend to have cliffs. Go. Be free. Now, That doesn't mean that you can't build organically if you don't have the cliffs and lakes and biters. I have built organically, quote unquote organically, in previous playthroughs. The things that you end up with when building organically is that you can have some problems with throughput on specific high volume lines. And you can get into situations where you need more of something and have not left enough space to adequately scale that something. Those are the potential drawbacks for building organically. But building in a quote-unquote city block also has some downsides in that you are either going to be building and using all of the space or not. And most of the time, the answer to whether or not you're going to be building to use all of the space of your specific blocks is not. Because you are either going to be building too little for the block or too much for the block if you want to deal with reasonable whole numbers of production throughput. You could build to the size of the block, but then you're not going to have some easy numbers to deal with most of the time. Let's see, what else have I read recently? In fact, I'm not even reading, just things that are listed as currently reading on my Goodreads page. It's like I'm not actually reading you right now. Just move that to want to. Like, I'm not reading Genius Prince's Guide to Raising a Nation Out of Debt anymore. I'm not reading that one anymore. That one got a bit too boring. Although I did make it to volume 6 before it got so boring that I couldn't continue it. More of my books, yes. Show me everything. Show me everything. What have I read? As I work through this, what's next? The seaweed. Pen. There we go. Next is the seaweed, food, and filtration media. Okay. The seaweed can be on its own on the inside belt. The food and the filtration media can end up on a shared belt here. Our filtration media at Dhilmo. Our Dhilmo food at Dhilmo. Our seaweed at Dhilmo. Let's not forget to define Dhilmo food. Quality. Oh. No wonder. I was actually making quality food. I just called it Dhilmo food. I should have called it Q food. Okay, let's bring this over. Bring this over. There we go. There. There we go. And we've got you. Ugh. Probably the same issue here. Yep. Whatever. That should be that. I just need to connect phytoplankton and saline. And I need to somewhere make sure that those connect. You know, I could have done this every... whatever. Void the wastewater. Phytoplankton, saline. Phytoplankton, saline. 1, 2, 3. So phytoplankton, saline. Our phytoplankton at Dhilmo. Our saline at Dhilmo. Our fetal serum at Dhilmo. That's what this last one is. The most fetal of fetal. So, pretty sure that's that. Just gotta get the input going here. This will output into a chest. These Dhilmos. I don't intend on using Dhilmos as Dhilmos for basically anything. Ah, right. Water supply. Okay, let's get the requests going. And that will be the Dhilmo eggs. Just gotta get them into the thingy here. S Dhilmo eggs. D Dhilmo eggs. Seaweed. Dhilmo quality food. Filtration media. Yotoi fruit. The fetal. Uh-oh. Should have known there was something wrong when I saw that the... Oh, great. We're way back here. Wow, that lost a lot of content. That lost a lot. Hi, Ollie. Hey, the Ollie has joined me. Well, that's a little demoralizing. Hello, Ollie. Hello, my boy. Yeah, there's the boy. There's Ollie. Here's Dolly back here. We've got the babies. They're both here. Dolly's been here. Ollie has just arrived. Doink, doink, doink. Now, in the interest of time, I will, in fact, place these down in a way that's scalable, I hope. And use the bots. And then copy the whole thing. Flip it. Paste it. Undo it. Flip it. Paste it. Yeah, it messes up the pipes, though. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not flip and paste. Maybe... right. You. That. Kill the pipes. Save. Grab. Flip. And paste. That's how you do it. Yeah, that's how you do it. Okay. Yeah, let's do this properly this time. That sounds great. Actually run it down the middle. And I have to fix that issue on the... What was it? It was the fetal serum request. The first fluid request in here had trouble. God, I have to do all of this logistics again. Ugh. Oh no, it was this one. Yeah. Okay, you are now correct and attached to this. Okay. Yes, save. That's taken a while to save, even on a super fast SSD. Alright, in the interest of time, I will not be doing those actual Dhilmos again on screen. At least it'll be one of those situations where it's like, if there's time, at the very end, I will go ahead and do that again. That sucks. Because realistically, I don't need the Dhilmos as the Dhilmos right now. I need their eggs and not the Dhilmos. So that means I don't need the majority of stuff, actually. I need these 3 solids and 2 of the fluids. 1, 2. Whoops. You there. Get rid of that. Our seaweed at Dhilmo. Our Dhilmo food at Dhilmo. Our filtration media at Dhilmo. Dhilmo? Mo? What time zone am I in? Eastern US. We are currently in Eastern Daylight. So US just had daylight savings time happen. So it's going to be a little off from the rest for the next week. Two weeks, actually. Just a teensy bit off. Excuse me? There you are. Really? That's your max distance? Please tell me I have... Okay. Sure thing. And then... filtration media. Yeah, so normally I stream for 3 hours from 10 to 1 Eastern time. Those are the hours. Stream in Factorio. I put those requests in, didn't I? Yes, I did. And I did that before I put in the pipes. That's dumb. Phytoplankton? Saline. Phytoplankton? Saline. Ahem. Safe. Our phytoplankton. our saline. Hey, it works. And of course we know that the other is fetal serum at Dhilmo. May as well bring it. And the Yotoi fruit. Ah, right. This was before I defined the food. And maybe even before I placed the thingy. Removing invalid. What? Yeah, what? I mean, yeah, I didn't add the train yet, but... What? Never had this happen before. Never have I ever had this message happen before. So are you going to bring the Dhilmo food? Right, it has to go like all the way around. Yeah, it's bringing it. Okay. SD, full cargo, circuit condition, automagic. Dhilmo egg. Okay. Don't know what that means. Removing invalid. Don't know what's invalid. I don't know what's invalid. But anyway. Back we go, I guess. I'll do those later, eventually. All I need to do to get more Dhilmos is to hatch the eggs that I'm making. Hey, and I'm making them. See, they're little boogers. They're little boogers. I actually think they're closer to isopod things. Yeah. Aquatic boogers. Okay. The Vat Brain biocomputing for utility science will need GTA. That is going to need bioreactors. Okay, give me my bioreactors. I am going to need to define and add denatured seismite to the train network, which is currently happening at my production science. Up over, or down over here. This is the denatured seismite. Unfortunately, I don't have excess of this. I don't really have excess of this, and it is limited by the production of agar? I mean, that's the current bottleneck. So let's look back at this. Right, I was like looking at what I could make with the other sciences out of the byproducts, but whatever. If I wanted to add another like 0.2 excess denatured seismite, how much would I need for you? 0.1, yeah. So if I were to add an excess amount of denatured seismite, what would that mean with regards to the current infrastructure here? It would mean adding an extra building for arthropod blood. It would mean adding an extra chelator building, although I did end up making chelators separately. It means another one of these on agar. It's 2 of those. It is a third one of those. I'm just gonna start tacking on the infrastructure. It is only one of you, and it is still only one of you, and only one of you. Okay, that I think will be fine. As for the other outside inputs, I should have enough super alloy biosamples, great alien samples. I've actually scaled my great alien samples to support this already, as well as my nylon. So all of this is fine as is. I just need to go there and get those few things scaled up a bit. Of course, all of this will be not red belt. I need robots to place this building and these two. Why you know? Hello? Oh. They're in construction bot range. Power that. And that should be all it takes. Once these are powered as well. That should be all it takes to give me an excess amount of the denatured seismite. Oh goodness, please. Keep on scrolling, keep on scrolling. There you go. Whoops. Yeah, this will slow down the production science. At least for the moment. I didn't quite double the amount of the denatured seismite, but whatever. I mean, vat brain biocomputing is slow by its very nature. How the heck do you even spell exactly like that? Okay. There. Give me locomotive and wagons and one stack of those. SD full cargo circuit ignition. I should do this with everything else. We're starting with this because I need it for the GTA. Of course, this isn't seismite, it's denatured seismite. There is a difference. Alright, you're removing invalid. So what? Have I figured out how to use the outposts from Pi? It depends on what you're referring to. If you're referring to the, like, flying whale thingies and other specific mechanics, I don't trust them. Just being honest, I don't trust them. So I'm not using them. Same thing with like eye bots, the ocula and stuff, because there are mechanics from Pi Alien Life that I am not using. There's the caravan. There is the caravan, which essentially just gives you a giant og that walks around with a backpack that acts almost like a train. I've had issues with the caravan in the past, particularly because I use nanobots. There's the fly-a-van. Van? There's the nuke-a-van, which basically is a it's a nuke on an og that you like send off to explode. Little yes, bread to make a very important delivery. Yeah, there's a flying. Is it actually just called outpost? Caravan outpost depot. Yeah, that's for the caravans. I don't really care about the caravans. Like I messed about with them in the first playthrough of this with the Paidu Valley series. I didn't care for much for them. There's the aerial cargo unit. Recipe name, Flyavan. I think that goes to the caravan outposts still. I don't think there's a dedicated depot for the aerial cargo unit. but this one like ignores obstacles. The caravans don't ignore obstacles. They have to go around obstacles, and they can get hit by trains. Ahem. The aerial one is flying, so it just goes over anything that's in the way. But I have trains. So there's that. There is another level to this, the logistics station. This is an underground worm, and it mechanically it's just teleporting items from one spot to another. We can get a better. We can do better. We can do better. There's that face. There's that face. Focus. Focus. That's probably as good as I'm going to go. There's that pretty face. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I haven't really mucked about with it because I had crashes with the logistics station in the past. I'm hoping that it's been at least remotely fixed. Why are you not trashing? Oh, because you're coming from who knows where to pick up from me. Anyway. So GTA. Gene transfer agent. I will make local for this. Just whatever. I've got my things requested for that, although that's a bit of a train station, isn't it? Oh, and I didn't break down ethynolamine. Eep. Eep. We're not getting this today. I failed to realize that I, in fact, need Kmauts and not just Dhilmos. I thought I just needed the Dhilmos and that I'd be done. I need Kmauts for serine, for alien bacteria, for the ethanolamine. I mean, the methyl acrylate I can just get. This is what happens when I don't pay attention. I'd also need to do the Flutech PP6. Yeah, this is gonna be like another stream. Oh god, I wanted so badly to have the utility today, but I didn't think about the fact that I didn't do ethanolamine for helium because I didn't need to, because I got my helium out of gas bladders. They're both sleepy cats. They're both sleepies. This is their nap time. This is their nap time. All right, well, we've got 17 minutes. Did I ever make a... I did make a plan on Kmaut. So, that's the plan for Kmaut. It is net positive on cages. I'm pretty sure that that's the vast majority of my current 2 for production. And the rations are a lot of fruit. Yotoi fruit. Isn't this identical? Wait a minute. Hold up just a second here. Isn't this infrastructure, this back-end infrastructure, minus Guar, identical to what we just did? Huh. Of course, the thing here is going to be outputting 1 rather than 0.8, but can I not just copy this? Just like copy the build real quick. Cough cough real quick. Yeah, sure, paste it there. I mean, I don't really care. Get me over here. I don't need that switchback. Oh, are the bots done? Oh my goodness. Oh, only a little bit left. Only a little bit left. You can do it, game. You can do it. How about the bottom right? They're done on the bottom right. Are they done on the top right? They are done on the top right. They are done on the top left. And everywhere in between. All that's left for the Constructobots is this. Thank goodness. You know, the whole point of having all the roboports everywhere was to do that. I'll need to make some edits in this station, of course, because we're not dealing with as many inputs, actually. I don't need Guar at all. I don't need Steam at all, so I don't even need that fluid input on here. Right. Unfortunately, the total size of the train station will be about the same, though. And I will need to process the bones into lard. Actually, though, that means I do need steam. Hold up. Hold on, that means I absolutely need steam. Steam. There we go. Can has steam. Build for me. Yeah, I guess in this case, this infrastructure will just get replaced. Yeah, because even the Yotoi seeds are the same here. Like, excuse me? I don't need the blood. Oh, okay. So I do need to make an adjustment. It's just that, yeah, this isn't outputting blood. I don't need the blood. I need... I need aug meat. Yeah, 14 meat looks good. Yeah, and I need to cage the augs and filter the cages. Hey, that looks like a good shared belt right there. And not from there. Okay, so this is going to go into 4 of these, which of course I don't have on me. Ah, so unfortunate. I genuinely thought I would be able to get into the GTA today. That sucks. But no, we need to do Kmauts and GTA. Alright, Kmaut food. You don't need any of that. You don't need any of that. You are 1, 2, 3 belts of inputs, which frankly means that I don't really need this outside belt here. Makes this so much easier. Yes, this can, of course, be the shared belt for that, leaving 1 shared input of the blood meal and tin. This isn't required at all. And that, as they say, is that? Question mark? I'm pretty sure. Alright, so we have actually go home. Also, the Kmauts are going to take a really long time to cycle because, yeah, we need 100 of them per building. I don't even know if I'm making Kmaut enclosures. I am not making. I am not making Kmaut enclosures. And I don't even have enough Kmauts for 3 buildings to run at 100%. I have enough for 2 buildings at 100%. Alright, let's get rid of these. This one is not required, so you're gone. This one is. This one is not. I believe this one is not as well. Oh no, this one's Yotoi. This one is required. It's these 2. There we go. These 2 are not required. Oh, so inefficient, but you know what? It's fine. We're fine. You know, if I were to redesign this and do it again, what I think I'd do is actually have my depot in here. Yeah, because the vast majority of the time, my depot is, generally speaking, he's moving. He moveth. Hi. Hi, my boy. He's moving. He's moving. There's that baby. There's the baby. Yeah. Most of the time, I only have one train being part of the depot. I rarely ever use all three. There's a few where I do have a larger depot, but those are exceptions. So what's stopping me from like putting this a little bit higher up, especially if there's a big train station, and just having the depot running underneath? Like have this be like slightly wider than the depot and have the depot tucked in under it a certain amount. And then I could like switch off, just extend this part up and replace the lower parts with more depot, right? If I need more depot. It would push the total size a little bit further this way. On these, it would like shift it over a couple of tiles, but I mean, that's fine, right? I don't see a problem with this. So this shared is going to be our blood meal at Kmaut Food and our tin at Kmaut Food. You are still Yotoy. You are still Zippier. You are still Fagnot, but you are now Oggs at Kmaut Food. I'm not going to bother changing these like ats for now. Oh, right. I will re-add this station. Sure, why not? Because I do still need the kerosene. I miffed on that one. Yep. Still absolutely need that kerosene. The carriest of kerosene. There we go. That'll do. That will do. Alright. Og! Let there be Og. Let there be Fagnot. Let there be kerosene. Let there be Zippier. Let there be Yotoy fruit. Tin. And blood meal. The mealiest. The bloodiest of meal. Such bloody meal. And that, I will need to extend the burners over here. And grab those 3 buildings. 2, 3. That'll be good. Yeah, just need to stock up on the fluidized bed reactors, FB reactors. And we are good to go, if I were to say, which I am to say. Just head on back, restock, come back, get the things placed, and we'll have the food. The food. Food. Glorious food. Still waiting on this requester chest for the cages. Otherwise, it looks like we're good. Hey, thank you so much for saying that. Yes, on all the successes here in the playthrough, we are progressing. Not as much as I would hope, but we are progressing. It is 1 o'clock. Bring me these FP reactors quickly, please. Bring them to me. I will finish off today's stream by placing down this and having the Kmaut rations. They will be provided to the train network. I guess I could define the depot, right? I'm pretty sure I named the depot already. So many stations. Kmaut Rations. Removing invalid. Removing the invalid. Alright, let's go. Where were we? Where were we? Hold up. Where were we just now? Right up here. How many HUDs do you need? All of them. We need all of them. I need to see all of the information. I want to play spreadsheet simulators. He says, spending all his time recently playing Distant Worlds 2. I wouldn't call it a spreadsheet simulator, though. It's not really. Nah. It's very complex and has a lot of things that you can do in it. Oh yeah, that's why they were so far away, to pick up stuff from my trash slots. Yeah, I just did lots of windows. Lots of windows open. Huh? There you go. Place the thing. Get to moving. Yeah, so we're waiting on delivery on this requester chest and then the cages as well. And this is waiting on its cages, but otherwise, once that happens, we are golden. Alright, I need to unleash the steam. And that will be that. Yeah, it's just the cages for the Kmaut rations, and that's loading up. It just needs a train. I don't know if the Kmaut rations have a different stack size. I just thought about that. I need to check, because Kmaut rations have existed since before Pi Alien Life. Yes, it is different. That's what I was suspecting, actually. The Kmaut rations, because they existed... you know what? I will keep it at the 100 each, because we are only making 1 per second here. Yeah, they were around. Kmaut as a creature was around before Alien Life. Right, and if I have stuff in my trash slot, they try to take from me the moment I enter the thingy. That's why they were so far away. Right. Because it was these guys trying to grab them. That'll just be a perpetual issue then. Well, I'm out of here. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. And that's where I'm going to be ending things off for the day. Now, all the other food has stack size 500. That's why I wanted to check, because I knew that this particular food existed prior to that, so it probably doesn't have stack size 500 like the rest. Just because it's an easy oversight. And things like that do get overlooked on occasion. Because, yeah, Kmaut Rations were the only, like, food for a creature that existed prior to alien life. It was involved... What were the Kmauts used for? They were used to make the ethanolamine for helium. That was their purpose, was to get into the ethanolamine. They like made serine directly or something like that. But now we have this tendon that we need to slaughter Kmauts for to make the serine. Extra steps in the process. But anyway, with that, folks, unfortunately we did not get to actually making the utility science today, because I realized, oh hey, we need ethanolamine, and that needs Kmauts. Right when I was about to start making it, it's like, oh great, we won't actually be able to make the gene transfer agent to do the vat brain utility science. That it's fine. It gives me time to finish the regular purple techs in the meanwhile, over the weekend. As long as I let the game run, basically, it can chew through that. And I can have 2 games open at once. This is not going to be a problem at all. So yeah, with that, I would like to thank you all for watching. This has been Otaku Showboat with Ollie and Dolly. Yes, with Ollie and with Dolly here with me together. If you have enjoyed today's stream, please be sure to do all of the social and engagement stuff down below the video. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you have not yet subscribed, and hit the notification bell. Consider becoming members of the channel by hitting the great big blue join button, and supporting on Patreon at patreon.com/otakushowboat if you're so inclined and able. I will be back on Tuesday with more of our playthrough here, where we will finally get some vat brain utility science. I hope to see you all then.